Hey, we're here. We're finally doing it. How are you, Harrison Smith?
Doing phenomenal. Love being in the Woodgym.
It's a Saturday afternoon. It's just us and a dog. His dog Deuce is here. For people that don't know out there, the listeners, this is Harrison Smith, a close friend, a brother, a son to me. Had since 8th grade, all the way till now at 30 years of age. Played at Catholic high school, local high school here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Went on to Notre Dame and is currently with the Vikings as of now, right? You're still with the team?
Still with them.
Excellent.
As today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Ooh, you never know right now with all the deals going down. And there's Deuce talking to us right now. Hello, Deuce. All right, man, I'm really excited to have you on today. I'm so pumped, finally. I know it's hard to spread your time out when you come in town in Knoxville to train and see family and friends and Walt and hang out. So I want to just talk about one thing that I like to bring up to everybody of an all-pro guy like yourself. I think, 4 or 5 all-pros. I mean, we got a shrine in here of Harrison Smith, how badass a guy he is as a person and as an athlete. But I wanted to ask one question, and I asked this to all the athletes. I'm going to start doing it now. What moment did you know in your young life of 30 years of age that you were wired different? It doesn't have to be sports moment, anything. What clicked in your brain or an action or a thought that made you think, hey, I'm kind of good? Because I know Todd Helton.
So like when you say different, you mean like good enough at what I do to play at like the highest level, like to play in the NFL?
Yeah, like if I give Todd's
so
away,
I feel like everybody's wired.
Yeah,
their own way.
Okay, and the old cliche, like work the hardest and I got there, whatever. Like, I know I'm going to go over my moment when I know that I think you clicked, but when did you click of going, you know what, I'm kind of different than everybody else?
I don't know if I've ever really had that moment as far as like different. Like I'm good at football. I know that, but I don't know, like, I don't really think I'm different. I think like I'm me. I have like my thoughts, my aspirations, the way I go about things, and everybody else has theirs. I think, my makeup has helped me get to this point, and then there's also things that I have to work on, as a person, as a player, just like anybody pursuing any type of career path or anything. There's things that are going to help you along the way about your personality. There's things that are going to challenge you. So I don't know if I never had like I'm good enough to play in the NFL. Like I never really thought that. I just kept playing. And like when I normally play the best is when I don't think that. I'm just like, man, like I love playing football. And that just normally like leads to playing better, instead of saying like I need to make X amount of dollars, I need to play X amount of years, I need to do this, do that, it's just like, no, I just need to go make this one play right here because I like playing, and that would be really cool to go make that play. Like yeah and everything else is a byproduct,
right? So you turn your mind off. Like you don't go into a game going, I need 10 tackles and 2 interceptions.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I set goals and stuff, and I want those to be there because I want to chase things. But like in the moment, in the play, pre-snap, it's not like I don't make it bigger than what it is. Like it's a game that I love playing, and I'm gonna go give it everything I got right now. And I hope it works out. Like, yeah, that really just like simplifies it.
Right. Because I mean, everybody that sees you when they walk in here, they're like, "Oh my gosh, he's so laid back, but he's so nice, but he goes about his business. But man, he's not like arrogant or cocky. He talks to everybody. He's kind of cool." So we got Deuce.
Deuce is going nuts.
That's cool. I don't mind. He's giving his thing.
I can take him outside.
Yeah, you can take. Deuce outside.
I don't know if he has a leash.
Yeah, he'll just be like, "Go and run."
Just keep going.
He will pull you.
He's strong.
Yeah.
He's real strong. So, it's not like a Q&A, but like I know when I think you clicked of like understanding it, but mine is different. I remember watching you in 8th grade. I brought my old Rottweiler to the the field down at Sutherland to watch you.
John Tarleton.
Yeah. You were in 8th grade, and you were running like quarterback, wide receiver, DB, and Tim Irwin hooked me up with you. And it was like, all right, this he's got some tools, but it wasn't like, oh my God, he's going to play in the league 15 years and be an all-pro. It was like, okay, he's a very talented little guy running around, but we'll see how that pyramid goes. But to me, because everybody asked me the question, when did you know Chad Pennington had it? When did you know Todd Helton had it? When did you know Harrison had it? And I was like, it stands out, and I wrote it, but I don't even have to look at it this morning, is when you got serious with your diet and you wanted to start reading labels about the food that you were taking in your body. And then we go another level of when Chad Pennington was with the Dolphins on your spring break, you came down to train with me instead of going to the normal places that all college kids go. Yeah. And then it's another level of that. You unpacked your suitcase and you had your scale with you and you were checking your body weight. I know it's overabundance now, but studying other people on podcasts, that's what makes you who you are. Like you're like, oh wow, I took it too serious and I didn't have to take it that serious. Yeah, but you did, and that's who you are. Now you could be laid back and go, wow. Because the biggest thing we talk about with clients I have that are older, 30s, 40s, 50s, even a guy this morning said, oh, I used to have a high bicep right here in my 30s. Well, you're 58, so that's not going to happen anymore. But your structure of what you are is why you're here now. So let's work at being the best 58-year-old. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And like stuff like that, I think, like bringing a scale around with me. Like I don't do that now. I don't read every label of food because I don't. Right. But I think like doing those things along the way, just point to how important things, the game was and still is to me. And I think like just having that importance to like constantly in your mind, like always thinking about how am I going to get a little bit better, will make you a little bit better. Because you're always thinking about it. You're always like visualizing. I'm always thinking about like having dreams about plays and stuff like that. And yeah, like I'm not lifting a weight or I'm not running. But, in my opinion, those things, they transfer to reality because you're like wiring yourself to care so much and invest so much. Right. And whether you express it in carrying a scale around or reading your labels or working out more or watching more film, it's still like you're wiring yourself for it. So I think just over the years I've expressed it in different ways, I guess.
Well, just like you were talking about this morning, we'll have to lead to that conversation, but like how you're so constantly thinking about the game, even though in here it looks like you're not, but you are, and I think I dealt with some guys in Nashville when I was doing those Petrone bands, my speed bands that I came up with, the entrepreneurship place in Nashville, when they tried to dissect who I am, and what type of people come to me after spending 3 days with them, they told me what Petrone people are. And I didn't know it, but they said exactly what you just said. They wake up thinking about getting better, and they go to sleep thinking about getting better. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's how, like, what you were just saying is like you're constantly... Each off season when you come in, you're like, all right, let's think about doing this. Let's think about doing this. And we make a program together. But back in the day at Notre Dame in high school, I made the programs and you just followed it. So we have to still have that core structure. And then now we trust each other. Again, listen to those coaching podcasts that I'm listening to is like, listen to the athlete, the good ones that will give you the feedback to make the workout. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And, I think we're a little different than most athlete-trainer relationships because I think for the most part, you, at least at the pro level, actually really at any level, you think like, okay, who's the best trainer? Who is he trained? Or who is she trained for whatever sport I'm playing? I want to be as good as that person, and they used to work out there. Where I didn't know who you were. I was in 8th grade. And my coach, who was Tim Irwin, like you mentioned, at the time said I should come work out here. So I showed up, and I didn't really take it serious for a couple of years because I was in 8th grade. Like,
well, yeah. And I mean, the two things that I remember him doing was bouncing a tennis ball all around. They're like, Harrison, you need to slow that fucking ball up and put that thing away. And the other thing was he would always...
it's the icy machine.
Yes, he would drain it to the fullest. And Brian White, one of my Fab Five, played at University of Virginia, played at a local private school here.
Fire,
I would have to call him and say, hey, I got bad news. He's like, what? Harrison sucked down the icy machine again. It was
Hartman, too.
Yeah.
Hartman.
Yes, Hartman. Brian Hartman.
We would just come in and do we would do step-ups for like an hour. And then drink 6 Sprite remixes.
Yeah. So Whitey always had to go back to the food store and get more Sprite remix on that. So I finally, but I knew he had some good qualities in him. I knew he was going to do something special. So I just hung in there. And that's what we talked about with I would say the best trainers and the best champions, they work hand in hand like that. And Customato with Mike Tyson, everybody said, why'd you put up with this street kid from New York, that was Catskill, New York, that was a troublemaker or whatever? He's like, well, I knew he was going to be really special. Not saying you're a troublemaker, but you were a little kid running around.
Yeah, no. What I was getting at was so that's where we started.
Yeah.
And then I just followed your workouts for years and years. And now, I'll come in and we create one. And sometimes we bring back some of the old stuff. Sometimes we create new stuff. But I know my body well enough at this point. I've played enough years and understand what I need and what I need out of my body that we can create that together. But I don't know if every trainer and player or has that type of relationship or trust. Like I couldn't walk into a gym in Florida and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. The trainer would be like, no, I'm going to take you through my warm up. I'm going to see how you move. I'm going to do this and that. But I already know how I move. You're not going to be on the field with me.
Right.
So that doesn't matter to me.
Right.
I know what I need, and I can I don't know exactly what workout's going to get me there, but you can make that. But how I what I want. When I come in, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just kind of something that we've developed that I don't think everybody else can just do that.
I agree. And there's no template, because each off season you come in with different issues and then different philosophy and what you need. So it's all.
There's some steadies, like plyos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we like to do different stuff too, because it's you always want to find something that we haven't done yet.
Yeah, I know. So when you turn off from the football and training, how do you decompress to regenerate yourself for another off season? We talk about the one thing you're also, we talk about Laurent, the Kansas City Chief guard of the Renaissance man. He does so many different things and he's intriguing, and he could do all these, a baker, and he could do all this stuff. People don't know a lot about you. You're so low key and what you do. I wouldn't say private, keep to yourself, but you also keep to yourself in private. So it's when you said your new hobby that you do, which is flying, is absolutely amazing to a lot of people. He's a private pilot and he's doing those things. What got you in? Chewy, when I was interviewing Chewy, my first podcast, I never knew how he started climbing mountains. He just was like, you know what, man, I think I want to climb the 7 peaks of the world. I had to wake up and do that. And how do you go? Because your dad's not a pilot, he's a surgeon.
Well, he did have his. Well, he still does. Once you have it, you always have it.
Oh, I didn't know
he's not
that.
Current.
But he flew
in the 80s, I believe.
Oh, excellent. All right, so you had.
But I never flew with him or anything. Ever. He stopped flying before I was born.
So did you have an interest of it? Or?
No, I hated it. Pretty much always. And then it was one off season in Minnesota. We go in during OTAs, you go in, you work out. It's kind of a half a day deal. You're off on Fridays, so you only have half day, 4 days a week. And you have so much extra time, and I always hated flying, so I went to ground school. I just signed up to go to a ground school at a small airport close by.
Yeah, but how'd you do that?
I just went online. It was just I
know, but were you eating a burger and fries at your place? And
I was chilling.
I think I want to fly.
I think I really do like to do the whole Netflix thing and watch TV and get off my feet and hang out like a lot of athletes like to do. But after a while, I'm just kind of wasting my life. So I want to get out and do something. and I think I don't know. I think I had flown on a flight recently and kind of got like really anxious and like just uncomfortable and like just scared kind of. And I was like, I don't know. I'd like to learn a little more about that. Maybe I won't be as scared. And then I just went to class, like, and when I was walking out of one of the classes after a few, the guy who runs it, Trevor Rossini, in flight in Minnesota. He's about my age. He recognized me as a player and was like, man, like, well, you should go up in a plane. Like, why not? And I never even thought about going up in a plane. I just wanted to learn more about flight. And then once I went up, I was like, this is actually pretty awesome. Maybe I'll just learn how to fly. And then it's just kind of like...
So he just took you up. You just said, hey,
yeah,
take me up.
He was like, why don't you just go flying? And like, it's such a simple thing, but I was like, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Like, yeah, I'll just go up in a plane. Like a small plane. It's different when you're looking out the front, like when you don't like flying.
Right.
So then I've just been kind of doing it ever since because I was like, this is actually pretty cool. And it's something that you can do. Like when you think about flying a plane, it doesn't sound attainable if you're just, just jumping on like a commercial flight here and there. It sounds so foreign and far away that you couldn't do it. But
do you treat it the same way as your sport? Like, okay, I want to get to this level as a pilot because now you're doing some things.
Yeah, I mean,
this off season you did some acrobatic stuff and some stunts and all that. I mean, how'd you go from like, I like flying privately and maybe flying from Knoxville to Minnesota and vice versa, but now I'm going to a whole other level?
I think it's just I've just found like enjoyment out of it, not as much as I wouldn't say it is like
being the best
relationship with
private
football
pilot, right?
No,
okay.
I mean, I think like if you're gonna fly, you should always be trying to get better and learning, and I think any pilot would tell you that. But like for instance, if I go out on a Sunday and I'm playing against like the best offense in the NFL, I can't be like, nah, I'm not gonna play today. But like if I go outside and it's like the winds are too much for me and the ceilings are too low or like the weather's just a little iffy, then I'll just be like, no, I'll just go home. Like, like it's not that to me. Where like if you take that same scenario and put it on the football field, like you got a little injury, but you can still play. You got to cover the best guy, tackle these guys. Then like, yeah, I've got to go do it. And I'm going to try to find a way to do it. Where like as a pilot, I'll just be like, not today. Like because I'm not a pro pilot. I'm a pro football player. Like I fly.
That's not what you do for
fun. I do it for fun.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
Okay.
So treat it like a hobby. Don't be Mr. Professional. That's how you get in trouble.
I got you. So you're a realist with that also.
I try to be realistic.
Yeah, like level-headed.
I don't try to be.
Stay in your lane, bro.
Like
stay in your lane. Right.
Yeah, I'm a pro football player, so I'm gonna do that really good right now. Like while I have the opportunity.
That's pretty cool though. So you'll like, I could see you doing this. Gosh dang, it's so funny. It's like walking outside going, I think I'm going to fly. Then you look outside and go, nah, I don't think it's going to happen today. Or do you check,
it depends on, what you're qualified to do, like legally too. You can't just jump in a plane and be like, see ya. Like there's requirements for certain, types and categories and conditions and stuff.
And do you do it like part-time, like half of the season? Do you think of doing it in season?
Yeah, I think I maybe flew once this past season on like our bye week or something.
Do you think after you're done, you think you'll like get your own plane and travel?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Like, it's not really reasonable to just jump in a plane and fly to California. Like it's going to take forever.
Right.
But like regionally, you want to fly down to the coast, to the Gulf, like
that just sounds cool.
It's cool. Like it's a nice freedom,
yeah.
And I mean, it really doesn't make like economic sense either. So like that's not really a justification. It's a freedom thing. If you can do it, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's so you would say that's taken a lot of your time. Do you think that's one that?
I mean, sometime.
Yeah.
Like in my off time. Yeah, I mean, I in the off season, I like to kind of take things as they come. I don't like to set rigid plans because everything else is rigid. Like structure as far as games and stuff like that. You normally are locked in so aggressively for however many months. So in the off season, I'll try to make it too structured.
So do you plan out, like, I don't want to keep you too long. I know it's Saturday afternoon and everybody wants to do things, but I wanted to understand, I don't know how they got the term like an Ironman type athlete, but like, how do you stay on the field so much in, was it 8 years of like playing? Like, how are you the guy that's the Ironman? Like, how do you take?
I mean, I've missed my fair share. My second year in the league, I missed 8 games, and I've missed a couple since then. But like, maybe more than a couple. But
I would say that you're very intuitive. You just talked about with flying of like, okay, hey, it's not happening. I'd say you're intuitive with the training also, but you know, now we're on a new thing this off season I've been talking to you about is like the recovery state is like all the other athletes are in them and they're like, hey, is Harry coming in today? I'm like, yeah, he's coming in at 4 today. Then you'll hit me up and go, hey, I'm not feeling it. I'm not coming in. And the last thing that I do, since we have such a great relationship, is go, oh, he's sandbagging, he's getting lazy, he lost it, he don't want it, he's not out working, first one in, last one out, grinding. You're being smart about your recovery also.
Yeah, I don't know. It's changed like the more years I've played, and this is just my personal opinion, right, wrong, whatever. Like, it's just what I think. Most people probably think I'm way off, but I just see so many people training so hard like this time of year for what I specifically do. Like, I'm not talking about anything else. Right. I'm just talking about being a football player.
Right.
We play 16 regular season games, and then you hope to play playoffs, Super Bowl, from September to the beginning of February. And you're just crushing yourself in March. And it's like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, what? I don't play for a while, so I'm gonna try to be in peak condition and playing ability for that time period, and then I'm gonna recover here, and then I'm gonna start ramping it back up. And because you can't stay peak at all times, you just can't. Something's gonna go wrong, so that's been my approach now, and it's like I still have to come in here in that off time and keep a level. I can't just be like, I'm not doing anything. I got to come in here and be like, okay, I can still do this. I can still do that. So I still have that confidence. I still have that muscle memory. And this is just my approach. Like,
yeah,
there's plenty of guys who train in the off season and
go hard.
Like, I mean, train aggressively right now.
Right.
And I've done that too. Like, I've definitely done that.
But do you think like at 30 and you're at your 8th year and you're getting into it, like you're figuring it out?
I don't know. Like, I don't know, because anything can happen all the time. Like, football is such a volatile game. Like, anything can happen anytime you step on the field. I've seen guys have horrendous injuries in practice, in games, in training, all over the board.
Okay, well, when you came back this off season, we talked about something. Are you training at 30 to get better, or do you think you're at the peak and now you train to stay there? And I you know me, I hate the word maintenance phase. Always hate it. Never use it. I get it.
Well, I think when, like, if we just talked about this and people listened, I think they would have like a different perception of it than what we actually mean. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, like, when you say, would you be training to get better? I would say yes, I would be training to get better, but not like, it's not, can I bench press 5 more pounds? Where most people would say, like, okay, you're going to work out, you're going to lift the weights, you should be getting bigger numbers.
Let's chase these numbers.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I still need to be able to push some weight around so I can impact people, get off blocks, tackle, do all that. But like, is benching 5 more pounds for one time while I'm sitting on my back or in a a horizontal position,
right,
is that going to equate to me being a better football player on Sunday?
No.
Like, it's just not.
And we both agree with that.
Yeah, it's just, and people could say I'm wrong. Whatever.
And people would say I'm wrong. Right.
No. Right. I need to be able to go lateral. I need to go forward. I need to bend quickly. I need to think quickly on my feet, make a tackle, get off a block 5 more pounds on the bench probably won't do that for me. It's just my opinion.
Right. But it works.
But if we go get on the turf and do something, move around, I got to react to something, jump over this, move. Yeah, like I'm probably not going to jump over a hurdle on the field either. Because everyone could be like, well, that's stupid. You're not jumping over boxes on the field.
Right.
Yeah, it's more like that's true. But it's a reaction thing. I just think it translates more. It's impossible to simulate an actual football game. But I think I'd rather spend my time doing that than squatting as much as possible.
Right.
You know.
And the name of the game where you are is to move and move fast, laterally, forward, and that's where a plyometric of a hurdle. So raising it up 2 inches into another notch is better than putting 5 pounds on a bench press.
In my opinion.
In how you play.
But then there's other people who would probably say that bench press, it translates to being explosive in some different way, and they're probably right in a 1 rep standing vert.
Right.
But that's not what I do.
No.
Like, it's normally 1 leg exploding.
Right.
Cutting off something multiple times, 70, 80 times throughout a course of a game.
I get a question a lot about you in here is he a student of the game? Does he watch a lot of film through the week more than, at the complex? Does he go home and watch? I was like, I don't know. I never asked Harrison about that. Are you a student of the game to where, like, okay, I get this. I know what you're going to do on Sunday. I've watched enough. I mean, because we already know you're super smart, educated. We get all that. But, like, he can line up well. He's not super talented, all that jazz, which is farce. But, like, do you go home and go, I got to watch, I got to, sit on, because the guys that live with me, all the new guys, the rookies, are always watching film on their phones or iPads. Are you that guy now at 30 years of age?
So, yes. When I first got in the league, we didn't have the iPad thing. I would just stay at the facility and watch extra film. Now we have iPads, so you can literally watch film wherever, which is awesome. But there's so many different ways to watch film, and how productive are you actually being as a player? Because I don't have the knowledge that some of my coaches have. Like, they just have seen so much more. They've been in the game longer. They have, like, the scars from getting beat by certain things that they'll never forget, and they can just always recall on those things. And I'm creating my own, like, scars and good plays and bad plays and memories. And so, like, I can think of plays right now and, like, go through them and be like, that was terrible. Or, like, I can remember back to college, even back to high school when we didn't even really watch film. But I think watching film correctly is one of the biggest things to being successful in the NFL.
And what does that mean?
It's different for every guy. It's different for every position. It's like, I can't blanket statement it. But I know if I just say, like, okay, I'm going to watch 3 hours of film tonight, like, that doesn't mean anything to me. It means, like, what am I going to get out of the next 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, however long you're going to watch? But, like, it's the same thing as in here. Like, is me doing a little bit heavier bench press going to make one more play for me on Sunday? If it is, I'll do it. If I think it is, I'll do it. If I'm watching this film, it depends on the teams. Like, sometimes I'll watch film and be like, I have nothing. Like, I don't know. They could do anything, anytime. So I'm still going to watch film, but, like, I don't know how much it's actually going to help me. Normally, like, I'm going to watch more film, more so than I'm going to bench press, because, like, it's just a comfort thing, like a confidence thing. But there's some weeks where I'm watching, I'm like, oh, man, I really don't know. Like, I'm not getting a lot that I'm really actually going to transfer onto the field outside of, like, basic football, situations. And then there's other weeks where I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, there's some good stuff on here. And as long as I'm on top of it, I run back to the huddle, get our play call, am able to watch the offense get lined up, their motion, their personnel, down and distance, all this stuff. Where a lot of times if you're on the field and a team's running, like, the hurry up stuff, and then they're checking to see what you're in, and then they're, like, the no huddle stuff there, and then they're moving, they kind of have an idea of what you'll be in and run a certain play based off what they think you'll be in. Sometimes, like, things happen so fast that I'm just trying to get a play call, and I'm not saying that's someone else's fault. I'm saying, like, maybe I was on a deep ball and I'm taking my time coming back because I didn't do enough cardio in here or something.
Right.
Right. And then like my film study is obsolete at that point.
What do you mean? Because I'm just out the window?
Because I'm just trying to get lined up in my spot before the ball snapped. Like for my film study to be effective, I need to be in my spot and watching the other team and knowing the down and distance and knowing who's on the field for them and knowing what they like to do in this situation and knowing if they do this, okay, then we're going to have to do this. And there's so many different variables that we go over that don't even happen, but you have to go over them because they always could happen. But if you don't like do things quick and think ahead, then like the film study, you're not even going to be able to use it because you're just going to go down to the basic lineup and play, which happens a lot. Like that's just reality. But I don't think like it's cool to talk about that.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Because then it's not.
Yeah.
But I think now the coaches are always doing that because they really are playing chess against one another. And they really do make a big impact into how they prepare us, how they call games, stuff like that. Where players, we can be involved in that, but it realistically, at my position, I can do it a lot, but sometimes it just doesn't work out based on timing.
So a lot of plays are people not in the right position and everybody just goes off reaction.
No, but like that does happen. Like I've made a play because I've done the wrong thing, and I've also more times than not mess up because I'm in the wrong spot.
Right.
You don't want to live off being in the wrong spot. Every now and then you'll get away with it. You'll fall into something and people will be like, oh, that's an incredible play. And it's like, not really. I just got lucky. And then there's other times where you make an incredible play and it doesn't look like anything. And someone else makes the play, but like a guy just crushed like 3 blocks, like our nose tackle Limo Joseph. He's just constantly making plays that don't show up on the stat sheet. So like no one's going to talk about it.
I got you.
It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you're in the room with the guys, you know exactly what you're doing or trying to get done. And you really appreciate things like that.
Yeah.
But like if you're watching on TV and it's zoomed in on the ball and you see like 3 people, that stuff is lost. So I think I just try to keep in mind, what am I doing in the gym? What am I doing at home? What am I doing watching film? Like, will all of those things make my Sunday better? Make my game day better? Will it make me one more play?
Interesting. And do you still take the coach's bus to the hotel like you talked about to me
not
a couple years ago?
Not as much. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes it's whatever I'm feeling like. I don't.
And that you would go in a different door and they would, you remember telling me that?
A different door?
Like you take
I think that was like a playoff game or something. I took like the bus to the stadium.
Yeah.
And they like didn't know I was on the team.
Yeah.
I think I went in the wrong door.
Yeah, tell me about that. That was funny as hell. What game?
I think it was because we were playing at the college stadium for those 2 years.
Yeah, when you were in Minnesota,
when US Bank was getting built.
Right.
We played at TCF, and I didn't really know like what doors to go in, I guess. And they had like searched my bags and stuff.
Yeah,
which
for
like
ID.
You know, they're doing their job. They gotta do their thing. I just went. That's on me. I went to the wrong spot. It was just funny because I was like, man, I'm playing. Like, kind of gotta get in there and get warmed up. But,
you have such the funniest stories like that. I remember we were in the mall with an athlete and we were waiting on you to meet us somewhere. And I go, oh, here he comes. And they're like, here, who comes? And I was like, well, it's Harrison. He's meeting us here at the mall. He's like, the dude with the glasses with the corduroys and the penny loafers or the docksiders? He's rock dockside. I'm like, yeah, that's Harrison. They're like, man, he just looks so damn nerdy and goofy. And then you blow everybody away once you get in the gym and start moving around. I think it's cool. Perfect. All right, we're doing good on time. I wanted to ask another question just real quick. Did you talk about like the league and talk about how you play? I think I know the answer, but I don't know if my listeners know the answer of who's the toughest quarterback to play against that you've played in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Now, I remember you told me it's 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and
it's probably the same answer, but I think you're normally skewed based on what division you play in, just because you always see those guys twice a year.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's Rodgers.
Yeah.
It's all like he's always been the toughest to play against because his mobility and his arm strength and his awareness.
And you always said he's a better athlete than what people give him credit
well,
for.
I think people probably give him credit for it
now.
Just because he can move around and just throw so well off like any axis. And I haven't played against Mahomes except for in the Pro Bowl, which doesn't count, but he has a lot of the same qualities and just crazy awareness and ability. I think we play them this year, so.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm sure you will be. You're at every game, just ready to go.
I got to do a better job. I got to do a better job seeing my man, especially, he's at 30 and he's not 23, 24 anymore. I got to get to some more games. It's ridiculous.
It's all good.
Our running joke with Harrison is that when he leaves the last day here in July, it's like, dude, I'm coming to these games. Look at my
late February.
I'll see you in February. It's on my calendar. Harry.
It's like
well, this year, what happened? I got to blame this one on Walt, your buddy Walt. The Chicago game.
Oh, yeah.
And they moved it. They had some
They did. It got flexed.
Flexed is the word that screwed me on that one. So
that's why you weren't there.
That's
the 2-hour, 3-hour start time
threw me off.
It changed the whole thing.
It was like, there it goes. So I lost airplane tickets,
it's
hotel.
Like Ricky Bobby, how he leaves the 2 tickets for his dad, like at every race.
Yeah.
He finally comes to one and then sells them.
He does. That's awesome. He did. Yeah, that's me. It's ridiculous. It's I got to do a better job thinking about that.
I would watch him on TV. Like,
it's kind of cool. You got the doors open, watching you doing your thing. All right, another question, then we'll go. You call your own. I know Zimmer loves you so much where you roam around, right? So,
no.
And no.
I think that no. I'd say that's kind of like normally when you hear like that stuff, it's normally just not true.
Okay.
Like I have to do a job, or Zimmer will destroy me. Like
okay.
I can move around beforehand, but like I'm gonna have to take care of my business at some point.
Got it.
Because if I'm not doing that, it's going to break down the defense.
Right.
And that's how we do things is we kind of say like everybody do their 1/11th.
1/11th. Okay. That's a good point.
So if you do your 1/11th and then you go beyond it, that's also awesome. Like go for that. Go make that play if you can make it.
Right.
But don't abandon that actual responsibility to go make some outlandish play because like it normally doesn't work out. It normally works out when you're doing your job and you get the opportunity to make a play. You normally make it, and that's just how our defense is. I can't speak to every other defense, but we have a lot of dudes who do that 1/11th, and it normally works out.
I know it's a corny question, but what do you like better, the blitz, sacking the quarterback, or INT?
That's a terrible question.
No, that's so corny. It's so corny.
Normally turnovers increase your chances of winning more than like a big hit.
And do you think, this isn't a corny question, do you think the next 4 years you'll step up your excitement when you do really well on the field?
No. I'm always excited. Like
really?
I just don't always express it like outwardly, but I normally get visibly more excited like when one of my guys makes a play.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's like 100.
I think because maybe I just have a little more energy. Cause like when you make a big play, like I remember the first interception I had in the league and I scored on the play.
I think I was there.
No, I don't think you were. but I just remember like, we always talk about like when you make a really big play, if you're not like aware of yourself, like you'll have out of body experiences. That's why you see these guys like celebrate and like tear an ACL.
Yeah,
I don't want to jinx myself with that, but right. It's because like you start like your body does stuff that you've never done before, and you're so like everything is flexed and like cramping and excited because you're on such this stage, and you like that's when you realize that everything's heightened. So like I just try to avoid that. Every now and then you get caught up in it, and like that's cool because fans want to see that. It gets people juiced. It's awesome. But for me to like last through a whole game and like I need to not be too high, not too low. So that's personally my approach. Some guys like they got juice all game long. Like I wish I was like that, but I'm just not. Like I've tried to be years ago, and it's just not me. So I'm not gonna force it.
I mean, do you see yourself? I know you're at 30. I know we've talked about it a little the last couple of years because it flies by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's going into your 8th year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you done it? Have you put the years on it of like, I'm going to play till
how
this?
many do I have left? No.
Just
ride it till the wheels fall off.
Just right, yeah.
And then make them just kick me out,
Right,
like,
right.
I think that fits me.
And you'd say that your body's pretty healthy right now?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel pretty
March
good.
16th.
Minus the non-sleep number, but
sleep's so important. I mean, I can't talk about that enough.
My back is crushed now from just being hyperextended.
I mean, I would say that you are the guy the last, I don't know, I've known you a long time, and you would always make sure you got your sleep. I mean, would you actually say that's your number one? I mean, because I'm not a supplement guy. I've never pushed supplements.
Coffee guy.
Yeah. Right. So we're not supplement people. So where do we get our regeneration, our recovery? Would you say sleep?
Yeah, like I definitely have to have my sleep.
Yeah.
More so, during the year. Like I try to get in bed and shut it down.
Did you listen to that one lady yet? No,
not yet.
It's 35 minutes, Harry.
I lost it in the text thread.
I'll send it again.
I'll find it.
It's awesome. I mean, she's really got me going on the recovery part. Because the training, doing it 28 years of training's there, but like finding those other tools, I think the recovery's huge. And I could tell, people can see us and listen to us, but I could tell today you look rough.
I'm not even sleepy. I'm just like mad.
Yes. Agitated. I was like, okay, this is a Harris, because I think I jinxed myself. I've been like, Harrison's in a smooth state this off season right now. It's one of the best. We sit back in the office, we talk for 30 minutes, an hour. I'm like, this guy's just in it right now at 30. He's like rolling. And then he came in today. I was like, there he is, Mr. Mean Man.
Dude, it's good to you gotta have a little edge every now and then.
Yeah, his eyes are a little swollen. Don't talk to me, that type of deal. So, all right, I want to wrap it up. I appreciate it. I love you to death, and you're a brother of mine. I can't thank you enough for doing it. And let's keep going and keep doing it.
Love you too, man.
Love you.